There are a lot of limiting beliefs that are formed around relationships and the idea of love. All right. And we're talking about intimate relationships in this video. So, what is a limiting belief? If you haven't checked out my video on how to change a limiting belief, I highly recommend that. It really goes into detail on limiting beliefs and what they are. They're basically beliefs that we have acquired and developed throughout our lives that hold us back, that mean that we do not act as we could act, that we do not behave as we could, that we do not perceive the world in a way that serves us, okay? So sometimes we might not even know we have these beliefs. So that's why it's really good to ask yourself what you believe about certain things. So, for example, you could give yourself a prompt. Relationships are, right? A relationship is, and then you can see what you say. It's sometimes interesting. And also listen to these 7 common limiting beliefs and ask yourself if any of them apply to you. Do you believe any of these on some level? And start to work on them. And go to my video, How to Change a Limiting Belief, all right? So, number 1, relationships are manipulative, right? That people manipulate each other in relationships. If you have this belief, then you're probably not going to be too enthusiastic about getting into one, right? You probably don't want to get into a relationship if you associate it with it being a manipulation game. And then maybe if you do get into a relationship, you're the one who starts manipulating straight away because you think that's what it's about, right? This is the game we're playing, right? We're in a relationship now. I better start getting what I want through these manipulation tricks. And you might not realize you're doing it. In fact, you probably, if you do that, you're probably not thinking that to yourself on a conscious level. You're not thinking, well, I'm going to do this and this and this to manipulate them. But that's what you start doing because you think usually, maybe that's how you grew up watching your parents have a relationship, or that's what you see on TV, right? A lot of these do come from watching your parents and how they interacted with each other, right? Or maybe your grandparents. But it's these limiting beliefs come to us. We develop them out of our past experiences. Usually, the further back they go, the more hardwired they are into our minds. Okay, so, but they are changeable. You can absolutely shift them. So, is that you? Relationships are manipulative? Do you think that? How would it serve you to think the opposite? That relationships don't have to be manipulative at all. All right. Next one. Relationships are like a prison. Once you're in a relationship, you're trapped. Do you have this belief? If you do, again, it may mean that you are avoiding relationships, right? You push people away. Or perhaps if you think relationships are a prison, as soon as you get into one, you try to avoid the person so that you're not being too controlled. You think they're trying to control you. Or maybe you start trying to control them because you think, well, I better be the prison guard, right? Not the prisoner. I want to be the guard, right? So maybe that's you. The next one, relationships don't last. If you have this opinion, this belief, Maybe because your parents got divorced, right? Very, very common to develop this belief that relationships don't last. Relationships are temporary. If you see that your parents got divorced, then you're going to associate a lot of negativity with relationships as well. You maybe sabotage the relationship after a certain amount of time. Maybe you've been in a relationship for a few months and you start sabotaging it. You end it because you've got this belief that relationships don't last. And you start to see, oh, wait a minute, this relationship has gone on a long time now. But relationships don't last, so I better end it. Right? This is an unconscious belief system that you have that is controlling what you're doing. But you can shift it. There's no one out there for me, or all the good ones are taken. All the good men are taken. All the good women are taken. Right? There's no one left for me. This is another common one that single people have often developed. And this can mean that you literally blind yourself from all the good catches out there. Or you simply you refuse to accept that there are opportunities available to you to meet new people. You say, all the good ones are taken, might as well not try. The next one, that love is just a fairy tale. It doesn't exist. It doesn't really exist. Love is a fairy tale. If you have this belief, then you might enter into relationships that are not so good, right? Toxic relationships. It's the trendy word these days. Toxic relationships. Because you think, well, yeah, I don't love the person, but love doesn't exist anyway. It's just a fairy tale. Don't want to live in fairyland here. Let's just get into this relationship. Let's settle. The next one. Relationships are hard work. This is a limiting belief that means that people avoid relationships, right? The relationships have to be hard work. Maybe that's what your parents taught you, or maybe that's what you've seen on soap operas, or maybe you've been in a relationship yourself and it was really hard work, and then that ended and you're like, oh, relationships are hard work. I don't want to get into another one. I don't want to get into another one of those hard working things, right? So you end up avoiding them. When the truth is that there are a lot of relationships out there that are not hard work. Relationships where people support each other, right? And sometimes it's work, but it doesn't have to be hard work. The last one is the opposite. Relationships are supposed to be easy. Right? This is another limiting belief, because you get into a relationship and then the instant a problem comes up, right? The instant something doesn't align between you and your partner, and it's going to take a little bit of work to solve whatever challenge that you have. You throw it up in the air and say, oh, I'm getting out of this relationship. Relationships are supposed to be easy, right? I'm supposed to be in this relationship to make things easy for myself. But this is like a challenge. It's just adding an extra burden to my life, right? An extra burden. I'm not going to bother with relationships. Not with this relationship, because I'm waiting for an easy one. That's a limiting belief as well, all right? All kinds of limiting beliefs to do with relationships and love. So find out which ones you have and do some work on them. Go watch the other video that I mentioned, how to change your limiting belief, and I'll see you there. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it on social media so that it can help other people as well. And if you want more videos like this, click that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when I post new videos. I also have a podcast called Identity Coaching with Movies, where I use movies as coaching tools for your personal development. You can find my podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or directly on my website, GabrielSeanWallace.com. I have a link to my website in the description below, and on it you can read my blog. You can learn more about identity coaching and creativity coaching. And if you're interested in getting one-to-one coaching with me, or you know someone else who is, then you can learn more about it there and contact me via the website. You can also take a look at my creativity course, my 18-hour creativity course that will help you to access your inner creator and skyrocket your creativity and innovation so that you can apply it in any project in your life, including, my friend, the grandest project of them all, yourself. You can find that creativity course on my website or directly in the description below. There's a link. Okay, my friend, keep growing into you.